Hello there, I hope everybody can hear me. Right, oop, left that on the pause menu, didn't mean to. Right, hello. Dread Mechanic here. Let me just finish setting up a few last minute things that I didn't sort out properly before. Right, cool, hello. Dread Mechanic here. Doing another live stream. At the moment, I am working on something a little newer. I have also not set up a few things on OBS. Give me 2 seconds. Oh, refresh the page. Go on. What are you doing? Okay, whatever. What are you doing? Verify it's me. I'm in the middle of a stream, thank you very much. Oh, bear with me. Bloody technology. Two-step verification. Always gotta do more things. Come on, internet. Hurry up. Yes, it is me. Oh, hello, Spaghetti Engineer. Sorry about the hold-up. I thought I had everything set up properly, and obviously I didn't. There we go. Right, OBS is being a dick. Whatever. Deciding to not show me things properly. Oh, and my internet is all over the place again. Don't do this to me now. There we go, right. I can see things, I can see who's viewing, I can see how many people are viewing, I can see you actually talking to me in the chat. There we go, fantastic. Right, cool. Right, we're all set up now, we can actually carry on with what we were doing. So, I have been making well, I started working on a MES spawner mod. Much in a similar vein to the things that... Oh, hey UK Jamie. Much in the similar vein to, say, Splitsy's Assertive Acquisitions mod. Similar thing. Player wanders around, buildings spawn, and mechs spawn near the building in response to players. So, I'm still completely new to coding this kind of mod. I'm still kind of cutting and pasting other people's code and figuring out for myself. I've also set up a window in OBS so you can see the code that I'm using. And I've got a couple of pages of that because we have all sorts of different files that we have to make to get this mod working properly. So that's all there for people to see when I get to those bits. For the moment, though, let's have a look at some of these robots. Oh, I need to stop doing that. Oh, there we go. There we go, that's better. Right. So, sorry. I've slightly rearranged my keyboard and desk setup, so my hands are automatically reaching for things that aren't there anymore. Right, so I have been making some spider tanks. These guys are entirely AI operated. They are not pilotable by people, really. They do have remote controls in them, but I have been stood there waiting for the stream to start, so I've run out of power. So let me just recharge. Oh, and in fact, while we recharge, I can show off this thing. This is my new drop pod starting mech, because I'm also working on a mod to replace the starting pod and the starting ships with different kinds of robots. And this is the first one that I've made. This is the Zebra. He is loosely styled after and named after the small little strappy jumping spider. He can walk forwards. He can walk backwards, but not as great at the minute because I need to change some of his settings. But he can walk backwards. I just need to change the wheel positions. And he's also got drive mode controls. I bloody should do. I've not finished setting up his drive mode controls yet, have I? So they're not going to work yet. I'll do that later. He will have drive mode controls eventually. It was a different version I was working on that I'd set that up on. But yeah, he can be, with the mod that I've been working on, he can be spawned in at the beginning of the game, like any other drop pod. And then he will come landing down, and he's got a bunch of parachutes tucked away in his carapace. And he actually lands pretty well. I've done a bit of testing in a proper survival game, and he actually lands and doesn't smash himself to pieces. He's got a decent bit of clearance from the floor. Oh yeah, and he also has, because he's based on a jumping spider, have I broken that? Do I need to rebuild that? Oh, I do, don't I? Well, I'll sort that out later. He has got some thrusters, H2 thrusters in there, so he can have a little bit of upward boost, and he has a very small amount of hydrogen tanks in there too. So he's basically got a limited use jump kind of function if you wind up in tricky situations, and he's got an O2 H2 gen and a survival kit like a standard respawn pod does. But on to the things in the other mod. So I've been working on some spiders. And we've got, so far we have the wolf, which is the brown one on the right, and we have the recluse, which is the orangey one on the left. And these are set up primarily to be enemy targets. So I can control them with a remote control, but that's about all I actually really need the control for. And they have been set up to spawn next to their relevant buildings when a player gets in range. So what I've got set up so far is this building spawns him, this building spawns him, and I've made a start on some slightly larger ones which are going to spawn some slightly larger mechs, but I've not set any of that up yet. But what we can do is just do a quick test and see if the spawner is working. So first, I'm just going to grab the MES clipboard information. So we can see here, that's all a bunch of stuff that's to do with the planets that I don't really know about or care about, but down here, planetary installation eligible spawns. These are the buildings I've set up so far. These two have spawns attached to them. These ones might. I've just cut and pasted some code so far, so I don't know if they will actually do anything yet. But they are available, which is good. So then we can hit enter. Once again, / MES.spawn planetary installation. Chat command sent. That spawned anything? Ah, there we go. It's probably spawned another one miles away. Right, so defense station number 1 has appeared. Now, I haven't actually done any spawn testing on the defense stations yet, so he might be floating above the ground or buried in the ground. I do not know yet. No, and he's not got anything attached to him spawn-wise, because something would have triggered by now. And he's on the other side of this mountain. I should have just used spectator mode, really. All the way over here. Yeah, that one needs adjusting. It's buried completely in the floor. Because that is supposed to be all the way up there. So we need to change some of the code for that. That needs to raise. That needs to spawn way higher. What was the other thing that spawned in? Should be another one. That's my base. Ah, there we go. That's the enemy base that's spawned. There you go. I've actually done a bit of tweaking with these smaller ones, so that's appeared in the correct place. Where am I? I'm all the way over there. So, yeah, if I get myself about here, spawn myself in. Oh, there we go. Now that I'm within 3 kilometers, it has just spawned a wolf tank. And then that wolf tank detects me. And then it starts coming for me. Although his weapons haven't turned on. Why you no shoot me? Ah, you were working earlier. That's annoying. Oh, hello, Flabby. Right, well there's something else that I've screwed up there that I need to fix, but it's still only early days designing this mod, so I'm not too worried. And that was the one that was buried in the floor. Right. So I need to do some adjustments to that. Why did that spider not start shooting me? That's spawn number 2. We'll give that a test anyway. Oh, cheers, Spaghetti. Yeah, the spawns so far, I've got them set up. The buildings spawn at about between like 3 and 5 kilometers away from a player. And then when the player gets within 3 kilometers, it spawns the mech, and then from there, the AI blocks and the mech take over. And it starts shooting, like that dude is. So the recluse is working. I don't know why the wolf's not working. Yeah, then that thing will just shoot the crap out of you. And then they've got some guns on them to defend the buildings. And then you've got to essentially fight the mech and not get shot by the building. Yeah, and you can go away for a minute. You can't put and paste doors, that's why. Let me see if I can get number 1 to spawn again. Where was that? That's outpost 2 again. That's station 2. Do we have another outpost 1? There we go. That's another outpost 1. Where is that? Where am I? That's that over there. That's that over there. Do I spawn myself in back over here? Ah, damn it, I still got too close. Yeah, the recluse is definitely working. His autocannons are on. Maybe I've screwed something up with the blueprint on the wolf. Need to go and check that. There he is, wolf tank. Why were you no shooting at me? Oh, there we go. I think the other one I just screwed up. Yeah, he does work. That's fine. I think AI was just being stupid. Now, you can't hide from the AI around the buildings, because they will actually... the defense blocks will actually lose detection. They seem to work on line of sight. So you can actually kind of sneak around the back for the mechs and come around the other side of them. But eventually the AI will kick back in again and start targeting you. So it doesn't give you that much time to get away. But yeah. So that is working pretty much how I wanted it to. Oop. There we go. Whee! Right, so the next thing that I was working on, the next test model was I wanted to get these two buildings to spawn, which they do, and I want them to, well, I'm going to get this one to spawn this mech, and I'm going to make a variant of this mech for the other building to spawn. So, I'll do a bit of coding in a second. But yeah, I just want to show off some of the interiors. They've just got a really basic setup. I didn't want to go too mad on greebling. They're just test ideas at the minute, but there's a bit of detail. They're full of a few random things. There's also a bunch of containers in them, because you can get MES to fill loot containers, from what I believe, which is something else I need to experiment with, but I have put some containers in there for the moment. Oh, hey, oh, hi guys. Captain Jack, hello. Spaghetti Engineer, how you doing? But yeah, so next thing I want to do is get this dude to spawn with this thing. But actually the first thing we need to do is make sure get this thing to spawn properly. So we need to have a look at the spawn group details. There we go, that's the one for the defense station. So that is currently set up with the exact same settings as the little outposts, but they are quite different in style, and they've been blueprinted from a different place. So that probably doesn't want to be minus 2 meters below 0. It probably wants to be a bit higher. Wants to be significantly higher. We'll go with 5 for now. And I'll go with 5 on that too. And then we can save that. I'm just going to do a quick entity list check. Those are my two buildings here. Let's delete all the ones that we do not need. Right, well that's one of the dud ones that's buried in the floor, so we definitely don't need him. And the other two are at my base. everything else is at my base. Right, cool. So we will save here when my game decides to catch up. There we go. And we will reload. Hopefully not crash the game. What's that, Captain Jack? I'm having fun playing with this MES mod. Some of the tutorial videos for it came up on my YouTube video the other day, which is what kind of inspired this little idea. Then I had a little look into it, and it didn't actually seem as massively complicated as I thought it might be. And after spending most of yesterday tinkering around with just the spawning stuff, I'm actually getting some decent results. So yeah, I'm quite happy with this mod so far. So let's spawn one of them. What have we got? Outpost 02. That's too small. That's not the one we want. Yeah, I will just keep spawning them until something appears nearby that I need. Defense Station 2. That's what we want. In fact, let's just... That's better, but it's still buried in the floor. Right, okay. Let's call it 10 meters instead then. Yeah, because you're spawning fine. You guys are alright. That was the dud one. Oh no, it's not a dud one, it's just one that's spawned that I don't need. Okay. Right. Pause that temporarily. Have a look at this code again. So, that was on 5. We'll call it 10, because I believe these parameters are in meters, according to the tutorial I was watching. So we'll call that 10 meters above 0. And we'll reload again. There's been a lot of reloading doing this stuff. Right, Captain Jack, you have 0 knowledge about modding and stuff, but you've played with several. Yeah, well this is it, I've played with quite a few of them. I've actually been using Splitsies, assertive acquisitions, as a kind of, not template, but a reference point to see how he gets stuff to respond to player interactions with buildings and stuff. Yeah, experimenting's going well so far. I actually got something to spawn, and I've gotten that thing to spawn something else, and it hasn't all exploded. So, going well. Right. MES, spawn some things, what have we got? Outpost 1, don't care about that. Outpost 2, don't care about that. Defense Station 2. Oh, why do I keep flying there manually when we've got back in spectator mode? Alright, we're getting better. Yeah, okay. Let's instead all that. We'll go with 15. We'll just go up in... We'll just go up in increments of 5. And then we'll split the difference later. Right. Delete that. Save that. Do all that. Reload that. Again. fact, the way Space Engineers is set up is you can make code changes to the game and then just reload without having to reboot the entire game from scratch. Because it does a little check for mod updates before it loads a save game. Makes it much easier than having to back in and out of the game every 5 minutes. Which is kind of tedious. So, anyway, once I've got these buildings spawning properly, we can move on to some more interesting stuff like building spiders. Oh, cheers, Jack. See you in a bit, man. Have fun, dude. You enjoy your dinner. Right, so... back in the game. Right. Spawn. 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 What have we got? Outpost. Defense Station 1. Defense Station 2. Fantastic. I want to look at both of those. Right. 15 is a little bit high. And 10 was a little bit low. So we'll call it 12.5, I think. Yeah, 15's way too high. At least it's not spawning in the ground, but it is very close to the limit. Right, okay. We'll do 12.5, and then I'll finally take down this page of code. 12.5. 12 point... No, not 1250. 12.5. Right. Save that. Reload one more time. And I'll get rid of that. So you don't all have to stare at all that code. I keep forgetting to take it down. Oh, hey Marcus, how are you doing? Gotta go to working on a ship. No. Have fun. I'm not the nautical type myself. But yeah, hey Marcus, how you doing, man? Right. So, what do I want to do with that other mech? I like to make variants of them. I don't like them to all have the same weapons. I like to mix it up a little bit, so... I might put my small heavy ammo mod into this game and give him rocket launchers, maybe. Ah, no worries, man. Busy. Right, so let's spawn a few more things. Outpost. Defense station. Outpost. Right, defense station. You're the one that we want to check. That's a little bit more sensible. But I would like it to be slightly lower, so I might just set it to 12. Looking pretty good. Have we got a defense station? No, we haven't got a defense station 2 yet. Give me a defense station 2. Yeah, you're spawning much better, but a little bit higher than I'd like, so... Yeah, okay. We are going to... change that back. Yeah, we'll put that at 12. We'll put that at 12. Save that. That button, I forget that button does weird things to spectator mode. Oh well. Hang on, did I save that? Double check. Save it again. Get rid of that. Oop, why did I put the back scene on? Yeah, right, reload that. And wait for it once again. Right, hopefully this time it'll spawn about where it wants to, and then we can work out how to get the mech to spawn nicely. Because from what I've been playing with, I've had to kind of, the best way I've been doing it is to get a building to spawn nicely first, and then from there you can work out what height you want the mech to spawn at. Because you can get the mech to spawn too high in the air and he comes crashing down, or you can get him to spawn too low and you get spawned in the ground, and small grid blocks aren't really supposed to be used for static grids, so they get a bit moody being in the floor. Let's spawn a bunch of things and see what we've got. Defense Station 2, Defense Station 1. Perfect. Just what I wanted. Yeah, that's a bit better. Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted. Cool, let's have a look at number 1. Yeah, that's a bit better. And these are going to be a little bit more heavily armed. They've got a whole bunch of turrets on them. And then stuff inside. Ah, and the faction logo thing worked now. Cool. Yeah. Spacesuit skull and bones thing. I thought it was perfect for a mod that I'm making. Right, they appear to be spawning more or less how I would like them to. So let's actually get rid of that. And that. They spawn properly, so that's fine. Now, spawned another one over here. What's that looking? Ooh. What's that looking like? Go down. Yeah, that looks pretty good. It's on fairly flat ground. That's kind of how I wanted it to spawn, on flat ground. Yeah, that's cool by me. Right, I'm happy with the way they are landing, mostly. Get rid of that. Anything else doesn't need to be there. No, cool. Right, so I need to tie this mech into spawning with this building. So we need to go. Oop, I've put numbers in there that I shouldn't have. Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's all good. Right, so we have got